Bang. Bentar. Wih, wih. Bentar. Oke. Oke. Tuh, dua. Oke. Tuh, dua, tiga. Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good afternoon, all. So, for today's materials, we're going to learn one of my favorite book, and I think I should introducing you guys to this book, which is Atomic Habits. Have you guys ever heard about this book?
No, Miss.
No.
Okay, not yet. So today I'm going to introducing you guys to this book, but before we're starting, let's have a short prayer, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to introduce you guys to Atomic Habit book. So here I have the book. Can you guys see? This is
Yes, I can see.
yeah. So the book that I hold right now is the Indonesian version of Atomic Habits. So the thing is, this book is one of the New York Times bestseller from 2012 until today. And then the thing that I learned a lot is that this book is teaching us that there is so many easy and also proven way to build a good habits and also helps to improving our better needs. And then it's also has like a tiny change that has so many remarkable results. Okay, before we get head into the summary, can you help me to the next page, please? Okay, so this is the author and also the writer of this Atomic Habit books. His name is James Clear. He is an author, he is a speaker, and also one of the productivity expert. And he best known for his book Atomic Habits that we're going to learn today. And a little intermezzo, his work is focused on the science of a habit formation. So just like a behavior changes and also he is continuous improvements. So his clear writing that emphasize practical strategies for building a good habits and helps to breaking the bad ones and helping in maximizing the productivity. Okay, next. Okay, next is the summary of the book. Maybe any of you guys wants to read? If you guys don't, then I will choose one of you.
Oh, maybe you can choose, Miss.
All right. So, Mbak Raisa, can you help me to read?
Okay, Miss.
Okay, the time is yours.
Is my voice? Can you hear my voice? Hello?
Yes, you're edible.
Okay. Atomic Habits by James Clear is a book that talks about the power of small habits in creating lasting change in your life. Unlike generic and repetitive motivational books, this book tells you that real change comes from countless small decisions, not just the motivation. That's it, Miss.
Okay, thank you so much, Barisa. You did great. Okay, so I'm going to explain more widely about this book, not only the summary of improving like lots of my bad habits since I reading these books. So, first of all, before I'm explaining it more widely, I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys care about achieving your goals? If yes, you can just raise your hand or give it like a thumbs up or unmute your microphone and say yeah. Yeah, Mas Randy say yeah, and Baraisa also raising her hand. Okay, and next is, do you wanna, you know, change your bad habits and turning it into a good habits? Ooh, yeah. And then, do you guys also wanted to discover how habits are formed? Yes, obviously, right? And lastly, do you guys want to know how you guys can build the system that will supporting your goals, change your bad habit into your good habit, and also how it can be formed? Okay, so let's start about that. So this book is has like three main things, and I'm going to explain. The first one is the book is explaining that the real change comes from the compound effect. So like lots of hundreds of small decisions that were made or that we're thinking, but we haven't planned it yet, or the habits that over the time accumulate to produce the remarkable results. So it means that if you wanted to change your bad habits and then you wanted to turn yourself to have a good habit, it does not help just by the click of fingers. You need like a lot more, a lot more like trials and error, and you guys also need to, find the best way that can suit you better. Okay, for the second one, this book is explaining that to achieve our goals, we need to build our system first, just like what I have explained and what Mbak Raisa has just read from the summary, that to build the system, it's not that easy. It makes of a single processes and the habits will take us to our goals. Okay. Uh, alors, for next, for the number three, habits are the compound of interest of the self improvement. If we wanted to change our bad habit into a good habit, it means that we have an interest of a self improvement. Is it true? Yeah. Okay. So it's the good and bad things that we do each day or every day that could be compounded every time to create the real change. Okay. By this far, do you guys have any question?
Miss, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, Mbak Raisa.
So, how to change our bad habit?
Okay. Can I answer it now?
Yeah, up to you, Miss.
Because we're talking about this Atomic Habit books, so I'm going to explain best on what I read from this book. Okay, so from this book, there are this book explaining that there are four law of behavior change that we can use to create a good habits. So you mean how to create a good habits, right?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. The first one is to make it obvious. So the habit needs to be effortless for us and require no active thinking. Got it. For example, me, I had a hard time. I remember I have to drink my vitamin D every once a day. And then I realized that the problem was that I keep the pills on the other side of the kitchen. And then once I put them in the obvious spot that I couldn't miss, I started taking them more regularly. So that's the simple example of make it obvious. So just, when you're try to changing your behaviors to be more better, just start it to be more effortless. Just like when you cannot wake up early, then just turning on your alarm from your smartphone. But then if you still didn't wake up, just do all alarms that maybe can make you wake up and etc. Okay, that's for the first one. And for the second law is to make it attractive. Can you imagine if the habit is unattractive, you likely won't have enough power to do it, especially when it's over and over, right? So that's why you should come up with some ways to make the habit attractive, even if it's something hard, like going to the gym or studying for long hours. It's just kind of restricting my fantasy to listen time when I was at the gym, which makes the whole exercises or workout things can be more pleasurable. Okay, that's the second one. And for the third law is to make it easy. So changing your habit should be started with something easy. You don't want to do something complicated at first, right? You don't want to do something so hard at first, right? So just make it easy, just like the first law. Just make it effortless. So effortless means easy, right? It applies to everything, to simple things, just like packing your gym bag. It's like packing your campus bag a day before you want to go to the campus, or preparing them like the night before, and etc. Okay, for the fourth law, which is the last law, is to make it immediately satisfying. So, fun fact, you guys, our brain rewards immediate returns. So, it's good to come up with something simple that brings us joy right after we performing our habits. Every time I go into the campus, I'm going into the class and I spend like an hour, 2 hour in a class. I know that sounds a bit excessive, but this routine makes me much more optimistic about spending my time at the class. So that's all, Mbak Raisa. Maybe you guys, or maybe Mbak Raisa has more question, or any of you guys have a question, just mention it and unmute your microphone or write it on the comment section. Not yet? Okay. Next page, please. Okay. This is I've already explained a little summary of the atomic habits. So here is the little videos that you guys can watch. Maybe you guys can understand more better. So yeah, let's watch it.
We tend to think we have to make massive changes to hit our big goals. But actually, tiny habits, repeated again and again, can have a major compounding impact, even when the result isn't visible right away. Some people worry that adopting too many habits will restrict their freedom. In fact, it's the opposite. When a lot of your choices become automatic, you free up your brain to work on more essential tasks.
Yes!
Let's take a look at the 4 components of a habit loop. The cue attracts your brain's attention to a potential reward and prompts a craving for that reward. The craving gives you the motivation and the desire for a change.
Oh, not.
The response is the action you take to satisfy the craving, and the reward is the benefit you receive from taking the action. All these elements have to line up for a habit to stick. Now, to create a new habit, follow the 4 laws of behavior change. Let's take a closer look. First, make the cues visible and hard to ignore. A few tricks. Set an implementation intention for where and when you will act. Create a habit stack. Identify something you already do every day and use it to cue a new habit you want to adopt. And design your environment so that it draws your attention to the actions you want to take. The second law is to make it attractive so that you develop a craving to act. For example, you can create a motivation ritual. Before a difficult habit, do something you enjoy to create a positive association. Use temptation bundling. That's where you pair a hard habit with something you like to do. And join a culture that you already relate to and where the behavior you want to adopt is the norm. The third law is to make it easy so that you're more likely to act. How? You can prep your environment in advance for when you're ready to practice your habits. And place your habits along your natural daily path. Also, when you're starting a new habit, remember that showing up is more important than the habit itself. Make your habit easy enough so that it takes less than 2 minutes to complete. Standardize before you optimize. The fourth law is to make it satisfying so you're likely to repeat it. The cardinal rule of behavior change tells us what is rewarded is repeated, what is punished is avoided. The problem is timing. Positive habits yield results that feel great in the long term, but often feel quite hard at first. The solution? Set immediate rewards to keep you motivated while you wait for the longer-term rewards to kick in. One way to do that is to track your habits so that you can feel the satisfaction of marking them done and feel motivated to maintain your streak. Of course, this framework can also be used for breaking a bad habit by making it invisible, unattractive, difficult to act on, and unsatisfying. There's so much more to this book than we could ever cover in a short video, including how to choose the right habits for you, the secret to results that last, and a ton of great examples and tips that you can act on right away. Read it for yourself so that you can create your own system of tiny changes that will lead to remarkable results.
Yes.
So, that's the video you guys have watched and listened. So, have you ever, guys, ever think just like, oh, I am a terrible with direction. Oh, I'm not a morning person. Oh, I'm a bad at remembering people's name. Oh my God, I'm such an introvert person. Oh my God, I'm always late. Oh my God, I'm not good at French. I'm not good at English. I cannot speak English. I'm horrible at math. Have you guys ever feel that kind of things? Yeah. As a human being, we're always having like a trial and error, but we don't even know which one is the balanced one or which one is the most higher that we got. Sometimes we do the trial and then we just did it and then we don't get any failure. But then for the error, when you're trying something that not going as your plan, you got the error. So more precisely, your habits are how you embody your identity. So when you make, for example, when you make your bed every day, each day, it's just the same, just like you embody the identity of an organized person. And then for the second example, when you write each day, like every day, it means that you also embody the identity of a creative person. When you train each day, you embody the identity of a very organized person. So by building a good habit and breaks all the bad, it needs to start from the easy one, from the effortless one, and then we have to getting used to it. And then after we're getting used to it, that's already becoming our habit. Do you guys got it? Apakah kalian semua paham? Yeah, okay. So, yeah. So the habit is just representing what our identity is. And what you're showing right now is literally what is your ID right now. You only believe it because you have a proof on it. And what is the proof? The proof is your recent attitude, your recent, the way you're talking, recent, the way you're respecting orders, and etc. Just like, and a more example, if you're going to the church, or sorry, you're going to the church every week, you're going to the mosque every 5 times a day, you have the evidence that you are a religious, right? If you study French for 1 hour every night, you have the evidence that you are a very studious person that want to learn French. If you're going to the gym to exercise, even when it's summer, it's a very hot summer, you're showing that you have an evidence that you are committed to do a fitness for your good health, for your good mentality, and etc. So it means from the example that I gave is just like that the more evidence that you have for a belief, it's more strongly you will believe it. And yeah, I think that's all for the explanation and the kind of a little introduction for you guys to read my favorite book, my recommendation book. By this far, is there any question? Maybe for one of each of you, like whatever, maybe you guys want to ask? No? So I think it's enough. And before we ended up our today's class, did you guys interested to get this book?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Oh
This book
yeah,
is very
only
good.
yeah, only Mas Randy, Mbak Raisa, Mbak Konita, Mas Alvarezi, are you guys interested?
Yeah, Miss, I'm interested.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, Mbak Raisa and Mbak Konita. So, yeah, that is my question for you guys. And lastly, I'm going to give you guys a little conclusion that I get from this whole book. And before that, if you guys want to get this book, you can get it on a Gramedia or in Togamas for their Indonesian version of this book. Or if you guys wanted to read the English version or the original version of this Atomic Habits, you can get it on Perry Plus. Okay? For the conclusion of this Atomic Habits book is that building a better habit isn't about littering your day with life hacks. It's not about flossing one tooth each night or taking a cold shower each morning or wearing the same outfit each day. It's not about achieving an eternal measurements of a success like earning more money, losing weight, reducing stress, having more boyfriend, and etc. But the habit can help you to achieve all of these things. But fundamentally, they are not about having something. They are about becoming someone, about you becoming who you are. And if you guys still having a trouble determining how a rate of a particular habit, I feel like you have to start questioning and then you have to start to finding your own answer. Just like for example, this is the question that I used to ask and remember each day, every day, even before I going to the bed. Just does the behavior that I have right now could help me become the type of person I wish to be? Or does this habit cast a vote for against my desired identity? That's the question that I always questioning each day to improving everything. So if I'm going into the trial and then I find an error, that question has always came up, and then I know the answer. I know what to do to find the way to go in there, to find a way how to make a good habit and breaks my bad habit. And lastly, habits that reinforce your desired identity are usually good. And also habits that can conflict your desired identity are usually bad. So yeah, I think that's all for today's class. And for the next page, please. Thank you so much for today's, you guys. I'm sorry if I've made any mistakes. Before we ended our class day, let's have a little short prayer, short week. Amen. Thank you guys to be participant of today's class. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys get lots of things from today's class. That's all from me. See you next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.